Okay, so today is thrifting day for me. It's Thursday. Today's really my only chance, I think, to hit some thrift stores. I don't know, maybe this weekend as well. But what happened today is I have a hair appointment at 11:30, and so I thought I would just hit a thrift store before, hit another after, and I have the day to myself. So that's my plan. I had a couple different ideas of which order I was going to do things, but then Goodwill sent me a coupon for, I forgot, today was the day, coupon for 50% off men's clothing, and men's is what I like to sell and look for. So I think I might hit there first, even though it's a little further out from where I am and from where the appointment is. There's another thrift store closer in town, and Thursdays is their half off day, the whole store. But it gets crazy packed with people. And I don't know, I just tend to avoid those mass shopping events. Anyway, so I'll try to kind of share some things along the way, what I see, and if I find anything awesome. All right, it snowed last night a little bit. I really thought my plans were gonna be messed up, but it only turned out to be about an inch, and it's nice and sunny today. It's probably only about 15 degrees right now, but it's a dry cold and it actually doesn't feel that bad right now. So of course I am inside a car, that's true. Okay, so I will talk to you along the way. So I changed my mind. I did end up coming to the one in town that's half off. As you can see, hold on, I can't really flip the camera, but there's a line of people lined up outside of it. So I've never really done this before. I've never done the half off day first thing in the morning when they open. I've only ever come like later in the day, because it was a Thursday, I happened to be around and I just decided to pop in. Not because I was looking for the deals or anything. So it should be interesting. Parking lot's already full, so people are just waiting for it to open. So I think what happens is their furniture here is super expensive. They mark it up. A lot of their stuff is marked up because they have this half off day. They have clothing half off several times during the week. They have a day for housewares to be half off. So they kind of price knowing that they're gonna probably sell things for half off. So it's kind of annoying, but anyway, so I think when people have their eye on something, then they definitely just wait for Thursday and they wanna make sure they get in and get what they wanted. So that's my theory. So I'll just pass them by and go look at coffee mugs or something. Okay, so this is that first stop I made where I said the whole store was half off and there was a big line of people. And so I went in, and I just want to say I saw a lady right in front of me. They roll out these different times of the day. They'll roll out these big carts of hard goods, and then the workers will, load them onto the shelves and everything like that. But they let people pick through it. So couple people had gone straight there, saw that there were some carts, and they were digging. And I watched this lady pull out some Pyrex. And then she pulled out a black snowflake Pyrex, which, not the biggest find in the world, but definitely not something you come across every day.
think it was the divided dish. So I don't know. I saw sold for like 30 bucks or so. I don't know what she was paying. At least it was half off, but she was right in front of me. Anyway, you win some, you lose some, right? So I just kind of went into the next bin and I started digging. And so the first thing that I saw there were some hats. And so I pulled out this Blue Angels hat. It's dusty on top, fairly clean on the inside, but I noticed it because it has some pins there too. So I thought that would be their Blue Angels little enamel type pins, and so that could add to the value a little bit. I was excited to see, do you know the brand? Patagonia. So some of these Patagonia caps can be very valuable. I'm not saying this one is, but some of them can be. So if I see one like this, besides the fact it's going to sell no matter what, I went ahead and grabbed that. So that ended up being $2. Same thing for that other hat. Now this one, it seems like I tell my husband at every thrift stop, as I'm showing him what I found, I end up pulling something out and I say, you know what, I meant to look this up before I bought it, but it was at the bottom of my cart and I forgot to check. So that's what happened. I got another hat. I haven't even looked it up yet. I don't know what it means, but it's new. And so I had just thrown it in my cart to check, and then like I said, I forgot. I was on my way to a hair appointment, and I was like, whatever, I'll figure it out. At least it's new, right? And then when I was walking around the rest of the store looking through the clothing, there were more hats hanging up, and so I grabbed this Titleist hat, nice golf company. It's also new with tags. It is a bit dirty and dusty, so we'll have to clean that up, but we usually do pretty well with Titleist type stuff. So for the rest of the hard goods, I had a bunch of stuff in my cart, and I actually filmed in the store a little clip of like stuff I had found so far, but then I ended up hardly getting any of that, so I don't think I'm going to share that clip with you. Kind of right away, I found this bowl, and hopefully you can see it. I'll put it in front of my purple shirt. So if you can see, it's like dancing couples and trees and things like that. It's a bit dirty. I ended up paying $2 for it, and I wasn't sure what it was, so it was one of the things I did look up while I was in the store. So it turns out it's Costa, and so, you know, I don't think it's terribly valuable, but I have a weakness for such companies, such Scandinavian glass, and it's just really cute. So this might actually end up finding a place in my house. I don't know. It's really cute. And then in the dishware, I tried to be good because my dishware is piling up. But I did notice these plates, and those, it's hard to see, they have cherries. Yikes. And those have pears, and I did not chip them. So that's good. They were $1 a piece, and they're made in Portugal, and they're that company, and I'm going to say it wrong, but it's Bordello Pinheira. Okay, y'all can laugh. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a good, has a following, and so it does usually sell. I didn't particularly check these yet, but for $1 a piece, I thought it would work out okay. And then went over to the flatware, and they had this bag of gold plated, you know, not real gold, but electroplated gold colored flatware, and it was $15 for the bag, so $7.50 for the lot. Now gold, everyone, especially thrift stores, think that the gold colored flatware is like made of gold, and they think it's super special. They even, that same thrift store has some in their case marked out whatever, $100 or something. And so it does sell. It sells surprisingly well. It sells to like food bloggers and things like that when they want their table to look really pretty. Some people have sets they're trying to complete or whatever, or they just want something fancy for like a wedding or something like that. So I went ahead and picked it up, and there's a few different kinds of patterns in here, but there were some serving pieces, serving utensils, like a pie server and a big spoon and a gravy ladle and things like that. So I figured I would do pretty okay with that. I really want to get my flatware going again. I've done really well selling flatware in the past. I just got to get back into it. So, and then the last thing in the hard goods were these two little picture frames. Again, I haven't really had time to look up a lot of things. They were $1 a piece. They're ceramic. And if you can see, they're by Villeroy and Bach. So just a good name. And they look really cute together. So I'll just list them together. And probably, I was going to say Ruby Lane, but I don't know that they're vintage. So I'll hold off on that. I might have to go someplace else. Anyway, so that was fun. And then for the clothing, I really didn't get that much clothing because honestly, they have other sales during the week that are better. So just the half off the whole store, you know, I was just kind of picking through. They have half off on their super expensive clothing that they price really high. They have that a few days a week, and I'm there on Sundays where they do half off on the expensive clothing. And then anything priced $9 and less is $1. So that's actually a better day to check out clothing. But they did have some new things put out. Some racks came out while I was there. So I did come across this. It's another Patagonia item. And yeah, they had it priced up at $25. And I say priced up just because of the condition. It's really pilly and everything, but I can do that. Like, I can take the pills off. That's fine. But yeah, they know, obviously they've got people in there who are checking brands quite a bit. So, but I did check comps before I went ahead and got that. It was $25, so it was $12.50. And, you know, sometimes I think about that and I think, you know what, there's other thrift stores where it might be priced at $12.50 and I would be like, oh, sure, I'll get that. So sometimes it's psychological that $25 just kind of puts you in a bad mood. And you think, oh, do I want to pay that? So I just have to depill it, and it looks like I could probably still get about 30 to 35, maybe push it to 40. It's a size large, so that's nice. Then I got another jacket. This one is Cabela's. Now, I'm very selective with Cabela's, so I made sure to look this up. It's just kind of a big outdoor rain jacket, all weather kind of thing. But it's a size 3XL. It's called Dry Plus. So raincoat, outdoor coat. So I did see someone had sold one for about $70. So I went ahead and went for it, even though they had this priced at $35. So $17.50 is what I paid. So yeah, I think I can make money on that. 17's not terrible for a plus size coat like that, a larger size. Now my big story for that store is I'm walking through the store, like I said, I'm trying to fill up the time up until my haircut, and I look over on the luggage and someone had thrown a coat. And I see right away that it says North Face. And I was like, oh, I wonder what they're going to be asking for that. Well, I look it all over and there's no price tag anywhere on it. It's a women's large, very, very puffy. Well, what's interesting is that I had done research on a North Face puffer vest that I listed last week, and it sold really fast for like, it was in my what was it, like $85 or $84, 70 something, I don't know. Anyway, it sold for a good price, and as I was researching that, I saw that a lot of people were using the word nupsy, if that's how it's pronounced, to describe their North Face puffer vests. So, excuse me. I ended up looking up what an actual Nuptse vest was, and it's very distinctive. It's very puffy like this, and it's kind of divided into this 1, 2, 3, 4. Now my vest had 5 sections, and so I was like, it's not really a true Nuptse, but the other people who had sold my vest used it also. I went ahead, I did the thing, and I added that word. So when I picked this up though, I was like, oh, that's like a true Nuptse. And I'm like, there is a new version of it, which is really popular and sells for big money, and they call it retro. So I think the Nuptse was a very like Y2K, maybe 90s type thing, and that look is very popular right now, and so I think that's what the appeal is. So looking at vintage ones, those actually sell for pretty good money. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna ask. I'll just see. The cashiers are not allowed to make up prices on the spot like they used to be. And so I knew they'd end up having to call to the back to find out. So I did it right away. I asked, this doesn't have a price. I couldn't find it. So it gets sent to the back, but fortunately it comes back out, and the woman's like, okay, that's $100. So yes, it would be $50. But I really had to stop and think about that, because for clothing, I don't usually pay up. I'm comfortable maybe 10, 15, but I'm like, you know what? North Face, Nuptse, 50 is probably worth it. At the very minimum, I can double my money. And the coat was in good condition. It's a really cool color. And so I just was like, so I'm thinking about it, and the cashiers are discussing things. And I swear, the line behind me, I thought I heard a woman go, I'll take it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's got, it's desirable. $50 is not that bad. And so sure enough, I'll throw up some comps right here. But someone has this color and they're asking about 200, similar style, the same style in different colors have sold for like between 150 and 200, and that's for vintage ones, not the more recent retro ones. So we'll see. I'm going to try to get this listed fairly quickly. It's a really good time of year to sell things like this and get that $50 back. But that's what I found at the first stop. So on to the next one. Okay, so I finished that first thrift store and went to my hair appointment, got my hair chopped. And now I think because the roads are still a little bit snowy and slushy, I think I'm gonna just kind of stay around town. So I'll head to the Goodwill. But first, there's a little tiny thrift store here in town that I'm gonna swing by. I haven't been there in a while, so I will see if they have anything I can find. Okay, as you saw, I was just pulling up. I think my filming of that went okay, but I pulled into just this little thrift store in town. Hadn't been there in a while, and right out front they had some like ski pants and ski jackets and things like that. So the first thing I found there was this ski jacket. It's vintage. It has a belt. I don't know if the color's showing up really good, but it's got the belt. And the brand, it was only $5. And let me show you the brand and let me see if you think it looks familiar. It's called White Stag. So yes, it is the White Stag that is sold at Walmart, but it's White Stag before it was sold to Walmart. So it's a Portland, Oregon company, and there was a big outdoor sportswear company in Portland, and then I think the son came in, and he started up more of like a ski wear line, and they named that line White Stag. And I found the information, I figured out it was from the 60s from the vintage label resource online. I'll put a link to that resource in the description below. It's very, very helpful for vintage clothing. So this is probably late 60s, early 70s. Now I found one other online so far, same style with the belt and everything, and it was blue, and they had it on Etsy as a woman's coat. Now I tended to assume it was a men's when I looked at it right away. I mean, men wore belted snow jackets back in the day. So I still have to measure it. I don't know that there's a size tag in here, so I'll have to measure it and do all that and figure it out, but it's kind of cool. It's all quilted on the inside, but not on the outside. It's got all the metal zippers, and they are Talon zippers. Let me see if I can get it up there. So probably not, but anyway, the zippers say Talon, which is another giveaway for vintage clothing. It's the company that made the zippers. So we'll see how that does. Okay, so that was kind of cool. That little stop, I didn't get that much, so I got that cup for $5, and then I got this little bag of, where's my camera? Blue's Clues figurines. Now, I just know that Blue's Clues, you know, it's just super popular. It's just been popular for a really long time. Now, I got home and I realized that this is newer Blue's Clues. It's 2019, but I think I can still make a profit. I think I'm just gonna lot it all up because not many people have a big complete set like that. So people are advertising them also as cake toppers and things like that. So that might be the way to go. Anyway, just wanted to share that bit of nostalgia. A lot of times if you find anything Blue's Clues, it can be worth a lot. One thing that pops to mind is his notebook, the handy dandy notebook. I'll put some comps up here, but they, if you can find a handy dandy notebook from back in the day. Now I did see a new one at Target in the last year or two, so I don't know if that affected the vintage, but I don't think so. But a vintage handy dandy notebook, you know, it's an actual little spiral notebook type thing. It can actually sell for pretty good money. But I'll put the comps and you can find out whether I'm lying or not. Okay, so on to Goodwill. Okay guys, quick interruption here just to say that I'm gonna stop the video right here. I'm gonna actually make this a part 1 and a part 2. And I just realized that the video was just getting way too long and my internet is not good enough to handle such uploads. And so I think it would be easier and would work much better if I can just divide it up and upload 2 shorter videos. So this one is out and you can look for part 2 coming very soon. I'm gonna try to just get it out to you probably the next day after this one. And then on Tuesday, we've got a haul video. No, not a haul. Tuesdays are what solds. So come on back and join me for those too. And hit the subscribe button in order to be notified when those new videos come out. So thanks so much for coming along with me on my thrifting day. And we hope to do this a lot more. And so thanks again, everybody. And thanks everyone who's subscribed so far.